Hey you guys, this is DuelBrothers here, and I'm going to be showing you how to build a decent dope damage. Alright, to start off with, you always have to have a stealth bird and a Karibon. Karibon's effect basically states that if it's destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, your opponent gains half the attack to the attacking monster. Half the attack to the monster attacking. But if you have bad reaction of Samochi on the field, instead of gaining it, they would lose it. Alright, next card up we have Spirit Reaper. Spirit Reaper is a card that cannot be destroyed by battle, so it will give you a lot of defense and save your butt for a while until you get the cards you want. Alright, next up we have Princess of Taishirji. Taishirji's effect is a flip effect that for each spell and trap card on your opponent's side of the field, it inflicts 500 points of direct damage. Now, time for Solar Flare Dragon. Solar Flare Dragon's effect is similar to Taishirji's effect, except it inflicts 500 points of damage to your opponent every standby phase. Then, to always, you might want to have Fire Trooper. Fire Trooper's effect is decent because as soon as it's summoned, you can tribute it to inflict 1,000 to your opponents. Alright, now, considering we've dealt with all the monsters, let's go to the spell and traps. Alright, right here we have Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin's effect is your opponent gains 1,000 when you draw one card. So, you might want to look into that. Then you have Rain of Mercy. Everyone, I'm pretty sure, knows Rain of Mercy's effects, so I'm not going to bother. Meteor of Destruction. Basically, what it says on this card is that you inflict 1,000 life points to your opponent, but you cannot activate this card when they have 3,000 or lesser. Tremendous Fire. This one's kind of pointless, I guess, but it gets it across. This card's effect, Tremendous Fire, is your opponent inflicts 1,000 while you take 500 damage. MST, or Mystical Space Typhoon, is always a card you must have in a deck to really screw up your opponent. Now the Dark Door. If you're versing an attacking deck that always likes to attack, you might want to look into this because this card effect says that both players can only attack once during their battle phase, so that stops them from attacking them. Then you have Soul Taker. You destroy one of their cards and your opponent gains 1,000. Then Level Limit Area B. Now this card is actually really good. It's a continuous that says every four level 4 or higher cards cannot be moved from defense position. Then we have Okazi. The basics start up for a burn deck or dope damage. And we have Poison of the Old Man. It's basically the same thing as Ukazi, except you can either you can increase your life points by 1,200 or lose 600. Or your opponent loses 600. Then the last one we have Wave Motion Cannon. Wave Motion Cannon is a continuous card that says that gains a counter on it every main phase. For every counter on it, when it's your turn, you can discard Wave Motion Cannon to inflict how many points of damage to your opponent times the number of counters. Alright. Now lastly we have our traps. Ojama Trio. Ojama Trio is basically a card that gives your opponents three Ojama tokens. But if they cannot be tributed, but for every token that is destroyed, your opponent inflicts 300 damage. Now, if you want to stop your opponent from attacking, I suggest using Threatening Roar. Threatening Roar is a card that ends your opponent's battle phase. And of course, Gravity Bind. Gravity Bind's the same thing as Level Limit Area B, except 4 hires cannot attack. And then we have Ceasefire. Now, if you're using those types of decks that uses a lot of flip effect monsters, I suggest putting this card in here. Because for each flip effect monster on the field, your opponent takes a good 500 points of damage to themselves. Then we have Mirror Force. Mirror Force is always a good card to have because its effect for when a monster attacks, it destroys every attacking monster on the field. So if you're going up on the field, so if you're going good against an attacking deck, I suggest you use it. Next we have Negate Attack. Negate Attack delays one of your opponent's turns until the next time they draw. And here's the main card you must have in Adult Damage. Bad Reaction of Samochi. Bad reaction of Samochi simply, instead of gaining life points to your opponent, they lose it. That's the #1 card to have in a deck, so I highly suggest it. And my guess is probably to run at least 3 of them. Just saying. The next card you should probably get on your hand is Gift Card. Gift Card, your opponent gains 3,000 life points. But if you add Bad Reaction with it, they lose 3,000. Now for Gift Card, I highly suggest running 2 of them, or at least 3, if you can get your hands on one. Now the next 2 cards for your defensive dealt damage will be Magic Cylinder and Sakuretsu Armor. Now these are 2 common cards you should always have in a deck, but in adult damage they work wonders. And so that's all the cards. That's every card you should have in adult damage, and I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to rate and support our videos and comment for any questions available, and subscribe. Alright, thanks you guys, and we are out. See ya.